Hey guys, welcome back to our core data course part 10. Today we're going to save an image into core data because at the moment we're just creating an image. We're not actually saving it anywhere. So we need to add a binary data type into core data. So that's pretty much what we want to achieve today. We also want to create our custom cell, which is going to stand us in good stead for the next video. So that's pretty much what we're going to do today. Sorry I've been away for a while, but I've been working on some projects for you guys. So anyway, let's get started. The first thing we need to do today, we just need to add an extra type into core data. So this is the place that's going to hold our actual image. So as you can see here, we just, like you've done before, just add an extra attribute into core data. And it's going to be of type binary data. So what we'll do, we'll convert this. I'll show you how to do that. So there's a couple of places where we need to make the change. So if we come back inside create team controller and we come down to save team changes. So this is where we're saving some of our changes into core data. So as you can see, we've got a name and created. So we need to unwrap our team image. So let's do that now. So if let team image equals add image dot image, and then we just curly brace, and we can then come inside and actually create an image data file. So then we just say let image data equals team image, and we need to add some compression. So a good amount would be around about 0.8, but feel free to play around with that. And then we can say team.imageData is equal to image data. It's actually an optional, so I think we need to include the question mark. Should probably prompt us. Yeah, there we go. So let's just add that in. That's why it's complaining. So just pop a question mark on there. So that's the save team changes function. So these are the ways that we're saving data into core data. So let's come down to create team. So this is when we create a new team now. We also need to save that image, or a way of grabbing that. So we just need to set a value of our attribute in core data, and it's pretty much similar to what we've done before. So if let team image is equal to add image dot image. So we're just unwrapping that, and then we can just say let image data is equal to team image, add some compression, so .jpeg data, and then compression data again. 0.8 seems to be a pretty good standard, and then we just need to set that value like we've done above. So team.setValue, and that is going to be image data, and then it's going to be for the key image data, which is this here inside core data. So that should save. We could just give it a test. We're not actually going to see anything just yet because we're not actually displaying the information in the cell, but we can just make sure we don't get any crashes. It's always a good thing to test if you're making changes within anything really, but especially within core data. If you're making actual changes, just run a test, just run the simulator, and we'll just add an image. At the moment it's still looking pretty ugly, but we can change that soon. So click save. Everything still works. We still add a team, but it's obviously not displayed in the cell. So we just needed to pop next to that team name on the left hand side. So let's just amend that in our cell. So come over to Teams controller, and then down in the cell we just need to add a reference to that image basically. And by default all cells do have an image, you just need to set it. They actually have a type built into them, so we can access that now. So if let image data is equal to team.imageData, and then we can just say cell.imageView.image. So that's part of the cell, which we get for 3, and then we can just set it to a UI image, And by default, a UI image needs a data type, which we have above, which is image data. So we just pass that in. And we should, if we run this, we should be able to see the image, and yes, we do. It's looking pretty ugly at the moment, but that's what custom cells are for. So we're gonna change that. But what we also need to do is when we actually edit the image, it takes us back into our create team controller. So we do need to amend that in a second. But what we also want to do, we want to display the image just a little bit nicer, in a bit of a nicer way. So the best way to do this is create a new function. And what we want to do, we want to make it circular, and we also want to set a border. So we're going to do this all in one place rather than multiple times. Again, we're just reducing code anytime you can do that, because we're going to be doing this a few times. So anytime you can reduce the code that you're typing by wrapping things in functions and extensions, it is always better. So to do this, we just need to set a corner radius. So we just say, so access our add image above, and then add image.layer.corner radius is equal to the add image.frame.width, and then just divide that by 2. That should give us a circle. And we also need to clip it to bounds as well. So add image.clip to bounds equals true. You've probably seen this before. And then what we also need to do is say add image.layer, and then access the border color. And we want to set that to a UI color of type white. And it needs to be of type CG color, so just pop .cg color on the end. And then we're going to access another layer, which is going to be the border width, and we're going to set that to 2. So now what we can do, we can actually use this function, which is going to do all that for us, anywhere that we want to have a circular image throughout this class. So I think we need to come down to the where we're setting the image, which is going to be inside handle select photo, I believe. So let's just see where we can put this. We can put that, yeah, we can just put it inside image picker controller. That should work nicely. And then we'll just run that and just see if that actually works. So let's just pick an image as we've done before. And there we go. That looks great. That's exactly what we want. So we also want to do that on the cell, but we will get to that. The first thing I want to do though, that name label seems a bit far over to the left for my liking, so I just want to bring that over. So we just need to play with this just a little bit. Just want to try and bring it over as much as we can. Still not coming over as much as I would like. So let's set that to 60. And just run that again. And there it is, yeah. So we just brought it over a little bit. So it just looks a little bit better. So everything still works fine, which is always a good sign. So it's all looking pretty good. So now what we need to do, we need to add that circular function just onto when we're actually editing a team as well. So if we go back over to create team controller, and up in where we are setting, just inside create team controller, we can just say if let image data, this is what we've done before, is equal to the team above dot image data, and then we can just say add image dot image is equal to UI image, and again it needs to be a data type which we've just unwrapped, and we can say image data. So this is going to save the image into core data with the set circle and border image function in there as well. So that should work fine. And there you go. We've just basically just saved ourselves another 4 lines of code, because we would have had to do exactly the same really above. So it's always good to do that. So the last thing that I want to do today is I just want to create a custom class ready for the next lesson really. So let's just create a Swift file, and we'll call it Teams controller cell, Teams custom cell. That should work fine. And then we just want to import UI kit, as almost always do. And then let's just name the class. So it's going to be Teams custom cell, and it's going to be of type UI table cell, UI table view cell, sorry. And then we just need an initializer. So again, init and then super.init. And then we just want to set the style and a reuse identifier. And then we need to, by default, just include the required init. So this just sets up our cell ready for the next lesson. And we're going to customize the app even further. And with custom cells, it's a great way to do that, because you've got so much more control over your app and the way that you actually want to display it. Because some of the out-of-the-box stuff from built into Xcode is okay, but I mean, more often than not, you're probably going to want to customize. So that's what we're going to do in the next lesson. Okay guys, so today we added the ability to be able to save images into core data, and we also added a function which gives us a nice round image with a nice border, and we're saving that in multiple places. So it's all looking pretty good. So we just, as you can see, it's looking pretty ugly, so we just need to get this custom cell in, and we're going to do that in the next lesson. So I'll see you then.